For my PENZ award topic, I'm going to have a look at sporting success in New Zealand and the new Balance is Better philosophy. Balance Better is Sport New Zealand's new sporting philosophy that is all about creating a more positive, more sustainable outcome to youth and community sport. The principles are around increasing participation and prolonging lifelong enjoyment, as well as increasing enjoyment of the sport, where the main goal isn't necessarily about winning, but rather to have fun, the reason we all play sport. Now let's move on to what sporting success looks like at High Performance Sport New Zealand. High Performance Sport New Zealand is focused on winning performance sport, as they should be, being New Zealand's highest branches of sport. Key words like podium sports, performance funding, and winning margins are mentioned on their website. Success for High Performance Sport New Zealand looks like medals, World Cup wins, positive sporting performances. But is this at the compromise of athlete well-being? While Balance is Better focuses on increasing participation at the compromise of performance, High Performance Sport New Zealand are trying to reap the economic rewards in the sporting world, trying to get more athletes winning more medals across more disciplines. The funding is so stringent and only given to athletes that will get into a final or have a good chance of winning a medal. Now, granted that these programs are after different outcomes, one is focused on the participation and community outcomes of sport, whilst the other is focused on performance at pinnacle events. But shouldn't some of these sporting philosophies overlap? These differences are beginning to create a negative sporting culture. The cracks are beginning to show. A New Zealand sprinter was recently turned away from the 2022 Commonwealth Games because he didn't make the time. If he went, his time would have won New Zealand a silver medal, a rarity for 100 metres in New Zealand. Another example of this negative sporting culture was Olympic cyclist Olivia Podmore. She took her own life in 2021 after the negative culture of Cycling New Zealand and Sport New Zealand, paired with the pressures of performance-first sport, got to her. One of my experts, ex-World Championship runner Gareth Hyatt, agrees with this. Here are a few snippets of what he had to say when I interviewed him.
It's another reason why I stopped running is because athletics is, like if I would have gone to 2 Commonwealth Games if I was in any other country other than New Zealand. NZOC set their qualifying times for athletics and most sports based on making a final of the previous Olympic game. That still plays on my mind daily is the Olympic game things. One thing I wished I missed out by 0.1 of a second twice, so it does your head in a little bit and it's frustrating.
You mentioned that Olympic sprinter, he would have got a silver medal at the Com Games if
and that's where NZOC don't quite get it, and they're run by all these politics and all these laws and trying to get medals so they can get the funding from the government and all that jazz.
But what should sporting success look like in New Zealand? Well, obviously we need to maintain our high performance branches continuing to perform at pinnacle events like the Rugby World Cup or the Olympic Games. But also there are many examples of positive sports moments in New Zealand where winning wasn't necessarily the desired outcome. Santana, for example, came 6th in the Commonwealth Games, but was super stoked with himself.
Monster PB.
Monster PB. I'm frothing. Look at me. This is Com Games. It's insane.
Or Eliza McCartney, an unexpected medal at the 2016 Rio Olympics. What about Nikki Hamblin, when she displayed the Balance is Better principle of fair play, when she helped her competitor cross the line after falling over? These examples show that the entirety of High Performance Sport New Zealand doesn't always need to focus on performance sport, but rather measuring success in a different way. My other expert from Sport New Zealand, Andrew Hewitson, also backs this up.
How do you change the measures of success to include what's critically important about sport? And so things like playing with your mates, playing for fun, having opportunities to develop, to get better, to still be competitive, but what you learn about competing and what you learn about yourself.
That poses the question, Does Sport New Zealand's funding philosophy need to change? Is performance first always the best way? If New Zealand does adopt the balance is better philosophy to the higher branches, will there be a decrease in our sporting success as a country?